In this video, we're going to focus on an aspect of bike fitting that often gets overlooked, and it has to do with how the rider actually holds themselves on the bike. We're going to focus today on the lat muscle, or the latissimus, and how it plays a role on the bike that really is poorly understood and doesn't really get addressed in most bike fittings. The goal for this video is to teach you how to activate the muscles of the back, and especially the lat, in the proper way, in the proper sequence, so that your upper body mechanics on the bike are as neutral as possible and contribute in a positive way to how you fit on your bike. But first we're going to just focus real briefly on what the lat is, what it does off the bike, and what it does for us on the bike.
As I mentioned, the lats are a large muscle on the back, and they're very distinctive when they're developed. They almost look like wings underneath the arms, just as in this picture of Arnold from the 70s. They're a muscle we often associate with rowing exercises and pull-ups, but they have a secret. In addition to being a prime mover, they have a large attachment to the spine and pelvis, and so they have postural duties as well. Here on this slide, we can see that the lat attaches to the entire spine from the thoracic region all the way down through the entire lumbar spine. It also attaches to the top of the pelvis, so it can play a role in pelvic posture. And to round out its postural duties, a small attachment to the lower end of the scapula makes it involved in upper back posture and mechanics as well. So what does this look like on the bike? When we first get on the bike and start riding, often being very fresh and rested, our posture is pretty good. But then as the ride progresses, and sometimes after not very long at all, sometimes even just a few miles, when we fatigue or just plain get lazy and start to forget, our shoulders will drift up towards our ears. We kind of get into this shrugged posture. And I see many people coming down the road on their bikes with their shoulders up by their ears, and this puts a lot of strain on the upper back and neck area. The correction for it is simply to activate the lats briefly and to pull the shoulder blades back down, as you see me doing here. Pulling the shoulders down will rotate the elbows back in so they're pointing down towards the ground rather than rotated out away from my body. And the shoulders just simply drop down. Now these are exaggerations of the movement in both directions to give you a good idea of what these motions look like. But they should give you an idea too of sort of the happy medium that exists in between. So how can we make this easier to do on the bike? Well, practicing off the bike is a good place to start. You can begin on all fours. This is the most basic position. And just start, as I am in this section, of just letting the shoulders drift up towards your ears and then pulling them down. To exaggerate, you can even round the back out and really reach through the shoulders, and then try and bring the shoulder blades back and down and flatten that back out. It may take some time, but keep at it and you'll begin to feel those lat muscles work. The next advancement is to go into the kneeling push-up position. This just puts a little bit more emphasis on the weight bearing of your arms, and it does make the exercise a little bit more difficult. You're going to do the same movements to activate those muscles. And finally, you can go into the full push-up position, which is the hardest position to start from, and really get the feeling of the shoulder blades moving over your back and being pulled down towards the base of the spine. So let's look at some of the video on the bike again. Doing the exercises off the bike should give you sort of a sensory point of reference so that when you are riding, you'll know and you can feel when you're falling out of posture and what you need to do to correct it. I've found that once people do the exercise off the bike, making the correction on the bike is easy.
So I hope you got something out of this video. If you have any questions about this lat engagement exercise and how it works, please leave them in the comments below. There's going to be more videos like this, so if you like this kind of thing, please subscribe, and we'll see you next time. Thanks very much.